Married a poor single dad, then discovered he was a billionaire. Emily Carter signed a marriage certificate without reading it. She had spent most of her life signing things her father put in front of her. Contracts, agreements, carefully arranged decisions that never truly belonged to her. Reading the fine print, she had learned, only made the pain last longer. So when the county clerk said, "Congratulations, you're married," Emily simply put down the pen and exhaled. Across from her sat her new husband, a man she barely knew. Ethan Hayes, 34 years old, widowed, father of a 5-year-old girl, and, according to her father, completely ordinary. No grand estate, no powerful family name, just a decent man who needed a wife and a mother figure for his daughter. It was the strangest arrangement Emily had ever agreed to. But then again, she hadn't exactly been given a choice. The drive to Ethan's house was quiet. Finally, Emily stared out the window and said, "Let's not pretend this is a love story." Ethan glanced at her briefly. "What is it then?" "An arrangement. My father owed you something, and this is how he's paying the debt." For a moment, he said nothing. Then he nodded. "Fair enough. No arguments. No fake promises. Just honesty." And somehow, that made her trust him a little. When they arrived, the front door burst open. A little girl with dark curls ran straight into Ethan's arms. "Daddy!" He picked her up effortlessly. The smile on his face transformed him. "This is Emily," he said gently. "She's going to be living with us." The little girl studied her seriously. "Your hair is really long." Emily blinked. "Yours is really curly." The child considered this. Then she asked the most important question in her world. "Do you know how to make pancakes?" "I do." The girl smiled. "Good." And just like that, Emily was accepted. The weeks that followed confused her. Nothing about Ethan matched the picture she'd imagined. The house was modest. The furniture was old but comfortable. He drove a 5-year-old SUV. He made dinner nearly every night. He packed Sophie's lunches, read bedtime stories, and somehow remembered exactly how Emily liked her coffee. He noticed everything. When she couldn't sleep, there was a cup of tea waiting outside her bedroom. When she worked on her old design projects, he quietly made room for her at the kitchen table. When Sophie became too energetic, he handled it with endless patience. No drama, no expectations, no hidden agenda, just kindness. 3 weeks later, everything changed. Emily was sitting at the kitchen table when a news alert flashed across her laptop. She almost ignored it. Then she saw the photo and froze. The headline read, "Hayes Global Partners completes $4.2 billion acquisition of Arian Biotech." Beneath it was a picture of a man in a tailored suit. Dark hair, dark eyes, a familiar face. Her husband. She clicked the article. Read it once. Then again. Founder and sole owner of Hayes Global Partners. Estimated net worth, $19 billion. Emily stared at the screen, then slowly stood up and walked his office. Cole looked up from his desk. She held up the laptop. "You're a billionaire?" He sighed. "Approximately." "You own $19 billion, and you drive that SUV? It's reliable." She couldn't believe him. "Why didn't you tell me?" For the first time, she saw something weary in his expression, because money changes people. He folded his hands. "I grew up around wealth. I saw what it did to friendships, to family, even to my marriage." He glanced toward Sophie's bedroom. "When my wife died, I promised myself my daughter would grow up differently." He looked around the simple house. "This is the life I chose." Emily didn't know what to say. For 3 days, she couldn't stop thinking about the man who washed dishes, the father who made pancakes, the billionaire who chose an ordinary life. And she realized something. The money had been the secret, but the man had been honest from the beginning. On the 4th morning, she found him making coffee. "I've decided something," she said. He looked up. "I'm staying." He didn't speak. She continued. "Not because of your money. Honestly, I forgot about the money." A smile tugged at his mouth. "I'm staying because of Sophie." She took a breath. "And because you're a decent man." The word seemed to hit him harder than she expected. For a long moment, neither of them moved. Then Ethan spoke softly. "I want you to stay too." Because of Sophie? A small smile appeared, and a few additional reasons. For the first time in years, Emily felt herself stop bracing against life. She smiled back. "I think I'd like to hear those reasons someday." At that exact moment, little footsteps thundered down the stairs. "Daddy, pancakes." They both laughed. And somehow, in that ordinary kitchen, surrounded by the smell of coffee and morning light, something extraordinary began. Because sometimes the richest person in the room isn't the one with billions in the bank. It's the one who notices when you can't sleep, who remembers how you take your coffee, and who quietly gives you a place to belong.